Hey, what is up? Hopefully the sound is working fine. It looks to be, which is good. So I hope everybody is well and had a great weekend. So we're going to give it a minute or so for people to join us on the live stream. If you are watching the recording, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and then you'll be notified when I do these videos and obviously the live streams. So you can come join me, get in with the conversation, ask any questions, get your site reviewed or anything like that. So normally I do these streams at 11 o'clock tonight, but to be honest they were getting a bit too late and I was getting a bit too tired. So I thought move it back to 12 o'clock UK time and hopefully there'll be a bit more better quality. Hopefully I won't be yawning through it all. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it, and like I say, put any comments and things like that in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So today let's get on with what we're going to do. So we're going to do another niche blueprint, and 2 weeks ago I did one on the archery niche. So after this video's the live stream is published, I'll put a link above wherever it goes. And then I'll also put a link at the end of this as well as the niche blueprint playlist so that you'll be able to get access to all of the different niche videos that I'm going to do in the future, because I've got 100 planned to do. So hopefully a great resource for everybody. So today we're going to be doing the rabbit niche, and we're going to be doing everything to do with the rabbit niche. So we're going to go through content planning, competitor research, brand design, monetization, all of that good stuff. But this time I've actually spent the last week and a half doing the actual research for the niche, so hopefully that just kind of streamlines it and speeds it up a little bit so people don't have to necessarily watch me doing all of the keyword research, but I'll still go through some so that you can obviously see my process. So yeah, let's get to the laptop and we will get started. So here we are. Hello Robin, nice to see you again. Let's change this camera again. This is a irritating camera. This one, the less nice camera with the horrible lighting. But never mind. Hopefully Ecamm will get me a fix for the webcam soon. So nice to see you back, Robin. Obviously, anybody that's joining me, please feel free to comment, things like that, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Hello Anil, nice to see you join. Hopefully this is useful. So yeah, Robin, I spoke to Affiliatable because I know that you sent me the email. They said to me they're going to increase the prices by 30 to 40%. Anybody that does the lifetime pricing now will be grandfathered in, so that price won't increase. Anybody that does the yearly price now and upgrades before the price goes up for the lifetime, then you keep that price as well, so you don't have to pay the extra or something like that. But anybody that does the yearly now will have to pay the higher amount next year, which is a bit crap, to be fair. So yeah, I'm going to speak to him again about that and see what's what. But yeah, Affiliatable is a good tool. So hopefully you'll see from my research today on whether it is very competitive or not. It can be quite competitive, but looking at some of the keywords, it's actually not ridiculous. I mean, this is coming from somebody that's been working in the health niche for quite a long time. So yeah, I don't personally feel that rabbits and pets is nearly as competitive as that. So there is some good opportunities for that. So yeah, I think there's lots of long tail terms that can be, taken advantage of. So let's get on with the show. So first thing I want to go through is the niche itself. So obviously looking at the Google Trends, I think that's always a good place to get started. So if we look at rabbit as a search term to begin with. We'll change that to the United States because that's going to be the biggest market, and change this to 5 years. We can see that there's not too much seasonality. It's fairly a straight niche. And there's obviously the increase in popularity at around about April time here. It's a bit weird March here. I expect this is to do again with COVID. That's obviously messed a lot of the trends up. But we've got February and March is quite busy here as well. So I expect that's coming more into the Easter period. Obviously rabbits being very focus of Easter, so therefore I expect a lot of people tend to look into getting rabbits as pets around about that time of the year, and that's why you get this jump around about February, March, April time. Are you staying on yearly or going to LTD while it lasts? This will also end up sometime this to go for affiliatable straight to that price. I've just paid for the Project 24 course just to see what those guys are doing and have a look at that. So yeah, I don't really want to spend another $200-300, so I'll probably stay yearly for now. So seasonality wise, I think it's pretty decent. Now one question to have is whether you go for a rabbit site only, or if you go for a general pet site. It's tricky because there's so much content that can be done with just rabbits. To be honest, I think it's such a big niche. It's such a big obviously big pet. There's so many opportunities. So I don't think you would easily reach that roof of running out of content to write very easily. There's a lot that can be written and there's a lot of content. The limit will be obviously backlinks. It's obviously a lot easier to build backlinks to general pet sites. There tends to be a little bit more opportunities, especially around the dog and the cat niches. But I think you could do very well with a rabbit only site, but then there is the option to go for generic domain and then build out the rabbit silo and then gradually build out from there onto another pet and then another pet. That might be a good option. We can see that it's obviously grown in popularity around about this period with rabbit cages. Again, this looks like COVID, with more people getting pets and staying indoors, which is understandable. So yeah, overall I think it's a pretty decent niche. Looking at some keyword research, so I've spent some time and basically created a keyword research list, and all of this information that I'm going to share today is already in the description of this video as a zip file, so you can download all of these spreadsheets, you can download the logos, you can download the site structure and all of that. So all of that is already available for you to download and use as you want. So we've got quite a few keywords here. It's only a selection, well, more content plan. So there's 114 keywords here, which would all make their own kind of piece of content. So, they've got stuff like, can rabbits eat mango? Can rabbits eat blueberries, radishes, green peas, all of that good stuff. And decent volume. And to be fair, the keyword difficulty is still pretty low. If we have a quick look, let me just pop the camera back to get the right screen. That would always help. Which one do I want? I want this one. I'm getting so confused right now. There we go. That's the wrong one. That's the back of my head. We don't want the back of my head. There we go. We'll go for that one. Just while I log into Ahrefs, and we'll have a look at some quick info because I forgot to log into there. So, for some reason the screen's not going all glitchy at the moment. Am I also buying a rabbit? No, maybe. No, if I start a blog, maybe. No, we were actually looking at a rabbit or a guinea pig. My wife personally loves rabbits, My son wanted guinea pigs, so I was like, oh, what do we go for? So we ended up going for guinea pigs, but rabbits was definitely an option. We've actually talked about getting 2 more guinea pigs just to add to the mess in here. As you can see, all the hay at the back of the room. But yeah, so I don't think we'll go for a rabbit. Maybe not. We've got cats at the moment, so I think a rabbit might be too much for us to take on as well. Most of the time I can barely look after myself. Here we go. So if we pull up some of these keywords and examples, so let's pull up this one and pop that in there. This will probably be a bad example. No, it's a pretty decent example. So if we scroll down to the search results down here, we can see that there are 6 sites, including the feature snippet, which are all below a DR of 25-35. I tend to like to look below 25-30. Because that kind of gives a non-big authority site more chance of actually ranking. And as you can see, DR7 getting the feature snippet is pretty good, and obviously gives us a lot of potential to try and steal that snippet. If we can see exactly what they're doing in order to get that snippet, we can just replicate that and potentially test out things to make it better. We've even got here a DR0, we've got a DR7, a DR6. So this keyword, for example, would be, I would expect, fairly reasonably even. And we could do that again with some others. So if we then go to let's have a quick scroll. Let's one random. There we go. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. That's a 1. So that's 700 search volume. This one looks to be a little bit more competitive with some more of the well-known sites I've seen. So feature snippet 62. To be honest, obviously feature snippet, DR makes very little difference. So I would just see what they're doing and try and replicate that. 22, 7, 17, 13. So there's at least 3 sites again that's below that. So good potential, especially this one that's obviously ranked quite high. So again, that's a pretty decent keyword. Now, even if we go down to some of the more competitive terms, maybe cutest rabbit breed, I think this will be actually very competitive. But with not much of that volume, but it's not too bad. But if we look here, there's still 1, 2 that are below 30, and there's one that's 35. So again, still very attainable. And yeah, and it's obviously focused on rabbits. So that gives us obviously hope that sites that just focus on rabbits can obviously rank well. So there's still obviously a good amount of potential there, and not too difficult, especially if you can get yourself a expired domain that's already got a bit of authority. Although that's always pretty hard finding an expired domain in such a sub niche. So yeah, definitely lots of potential here, and this is only a fraction of the content ideas that there are. There's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content that can be written, and unfortunately I don't ever have the time to provide a full list, but I want at least all of these niche blueprints to have at least 100 pieces of content to hopefully help people get started in writing for this niche. Hopefully saves a little bit of time. I'd obviously still recommend doing a little bit of your own research, but yeah, hopefully this helps. So this spreadsheet basically shows the volume, the keyword difficulty. I've separated it into individual topics, so these can obviously be filtered, so you can focus on smaller content clusters within the niche. And then these empty sections are basically for you to fill out. So if you're writing a content brief, you can put a link to that. If you've already written the content and it's like on a Google Docs, and you can put a link to that so you know it's there. I then like to have checklists because I'm crazy with lists and notes, and it always feels good when you tick something off. So yeah, once I've outlined the article, I'll tick that off. Once I've written it, I'll tick that off, and then once I've published, I'll tick that off. And you can use things like Trello and all those tools to do the same, but this at least keeps it all in one place. And then I'll put a link to the live post as well, just so I've always got a link to every single piece of content that I've done. And then this is a good section to obviously add any notes that you might have. And yeah, that always works really well. And I've actually found a really good tool. So shout out to Carl Broadbent on this. So it's a tool that I used already. It's a Keyword Chef. I do use it already for my reports, but Carl recently released a video about a new feature on there, and it's pretty decent, to be fair. I've already spent too much money on getting more reports to do it, so I'll show an example. I think let's just show it on the guinea pig one. So guinea pig one, I've got done it on questions. So there's 1,500 questions that I've got the results for, and then when you click onto domains, I don't know if I have to wait for this to load, so which I do, which is irritating. But yeah, so then you can go onto domains, and then it's got the typical question and answer sites such as Quora, and then you can click on this, and it will basically show you all of the different questions that are ranking for Quora. So you've got the volume, you've got the position in Google where they are. So I find this is a really good way of finding potential keywords that I can get decent volume for. I know that a site such as, Quora's ranking for it, so they obviously tend to be a bit easier to beat. So yeah, it just gives you some good low-hanging fruit kind of opportunities. So yeah, shout out for Carl for sharing that. That was brilliant. So if you've not seen his channel, make sure you go and check it out. So yeah, just thought I'd share that. So as well as this, like I said, I've written the in topics, so it's separated into individual topics. There is also a screenshot or an image of this, which is basically what I would do in terms of the site structure. And it's relatively simple because it's such a small sub niche. It doesn't get massively overcomplicated with different animals and all of this stuff. But that could easily be simplified as well into this being each individual animal. So we've got the home page here, and that would link to the buyer's guide section where you'd have all your buyer's pages. So you'd have your best guinea pig, best rabbit cages, best outdoor rabbit hutches, best rabbit toys, best rabbit brush, all of those different things. And then you would potentially also have your reviews. So if you're reviewing individual products as well, they might come off your buyer's guides, or you might have a separate products review and then the individual reviews there. Below that, or where it'd be obviously on your navigation, we have Rabbit 101. And this is basically where all of the kind of like the care guides, the informational things would go. So things like, do you have to, well, we can just do this actually. This makes more sense, doesn't it? So let's clear all those and Rabbit 101. Okay. So yeah, things like how to clean a rabbit cage, rabbit teeth, rabbit cage setup, funny rabbit names, how to bathe a rabbit. All of these would kind of feature under this subsection. So this would kind of be the category page, even though I personally don't index category pages. This would be the overarching kind of hierarchy of it in the navigation. And then we go into rabbit breeds. So for this, I would have a single rabbit breeds page, which would potentially go through each individual breed as a sub thingy. Let me show an example, because saying sub thingy doesn't really help. So if I go to the breeds page on Guinea Pig Geek, I haven't updated it, but we have this one here, which is a list of breeds. So I would do something like this and have, it's not loading. And have something like this, so you've got all of the individual breeds, and then you'd link through to those breed pages, so the actual dedicated breeds. So that would be what I would do here. And then that would link through to all of the individual breeds that we have. So we can again remove that and put in breeds. So that would link through to potentially, maybe not all of these, but there's, you know, not too many. So you could have that, or and that could work out quite well, or you could have the top 20. And then I would also have separate articles, so we might have pieces on giant breeds, and that would then just list the different giant breeds. We'd have the small rabbit breeds, and that would list the small rabbit breeds. So what you could potentially do is, if we go back to this and find a small breed, I don't know what is a small breed if I'm completely honest, so let's just say, I mean, that's called a giant papillon, or however you pronounce it, so I'd imagine that's a big one. So what I would simply do is copy this, change that to there, and then this would basically link to that, and then you might link this to that as well, and that would just kind of help with the interlinking, but it'll also have that, you know, this is a giant rabbit breed, so it goes here. It's also one of the best rabbit breeds, so it goes here. So that is typically what I'd do, and I'd do that for all of the giant breeds and then all of the small breeds as well. And then we do the same when it comes to, just remove that, what rabbits eat. So I would have a diet page here. So along the navigation of the site, of the homepage, you'd have, you know, you'd have Rabbit 101, rabbit breeds, rabbit diet, buyer's guide, and this would be the rabbit's diet. So it would be kind of like a pillar piece of content, so a really in-depth piece of content on a rabbit's diet. I would then have sub pages, so I'll have other posts, which is what vegetables can rabbits eat, what fruit can rabbits eat, and this content would link here, and then these would link back to the main diet page. And then on these pages, I would link out to the individual, can rabbits eat this, can rabbits eat that. So if we look, we will change this to, let's just select all now, I'm done. So can rabbits eat mushrooms? So I would have that here, pop that in there, and we would have can rabbits eat mushrooms, and that will link through to this piece of content, because this would kind of list all of the different veg that they can eat, and then go to find out more by going here. So this would go to here, and then I would have potentially, you know, lots of these. I was going to actually put them in here so you can see that structured like this, but then it just got very messy and overcomplicated. So these are all different vegetables, so this would link through to all of these, like so. Let's just use 3 as an example, and then these would link back through to what vegetables they can eat, like so. If there's ever a mention of any fruit, then that would also say this one links to a fruit of some kind, then it might go to there in the content. And then these would potentially link to each other as well. So this might say, oh, they can also eat this vegetable, or they can't eat this vegetable, but they can eat this vegetable. So you're kind of doing your interlinking manually as you're creating the content. And if you use a plugin like Link Whisperer, then that makes that whole process even easier. So let me just wash these out of the way, like so. So that is basically how I would structure the site, and that's obviously how I do it for Guinea Pig Geek, and that seems to be working reasonably well. It's growing quite nicely for such a young site. So that's how I do the structure. And then once you've kind of got an idea of the content, you've got an idea of the structure, you then want to be doing a little bit of competitor research. So I have on my laptop. So I've already provided a little bit of competitor research. There's about 28 competitors here within this niche, and it lists the DR. So we can see there's obviously some decent ones that can beat. It lists the backlinks, the referring domains. We can see the organic keywords, the organic traffic, and then I've also gone through the sites and looked through their sitemaps and got a rough idea of how many posts that they've got. And the reason behind that is, there's two good reasons. One, we can use reverse engineering to find out what content they've got and what's missing from our content plan. So we know that in the content plan there is 110 pieces of content, whereas this one's got 245. So there's potentially 135 extra content ideas from. And then we have the other reason is that we can then also see what the top performing pieces of content are, and as well we can also see roughly how many pieces of content we might need in order to be competitive. So if I was getting into this niche, then I would obviously want as much content as possible, but my initial goal would to be get to around about 100 pieces of content, because then straight away we've beaten a good few of these sites, potentially 150, but we know that if we get to 200 then we have more than the majority of these. So that is definitely a good, kind of like just a good gauge line as to how big those sites are. And you know, if you do have the budget behind to outsource content, then that amount of content doesn't necessarily need to take too long. If you're doing it fairly cheap and bootstrap like me and writing it myself, then it might take quite a little bit longer. But you know, if you go for the quick wins, so if you go for the content that they are ranking high but have low DR, then there's a good chance you're going to see rewards a lot quicker, rather than going after the more competitive content that's got obviously the higher search volume. So there's that, and then there's obviously the notes section, so that people can obviously add any notes, you know, what pages are doing particularly well, what's easy to beat, those kind of things. And this was just literally gotten from Ahrefs, join the keyword research, and then also using their competitive filter. So if we go to, let's grab this one for example, go to Ahrefs, we'll go to Site Explorer, and we will eventually go here and search, and we can come down to competing domains should I say. It decides to load. Here we go, and then this will basically allow us to just go through these and see which ones we've already got and which ones we don't. So if we don't have this one, which I don't think we do, oh we do there, but then I'll just literally just paste that in there and I'll just fill out this data, and then we've got that, and then we can actually look at that site. So I've lost it now, there we go. So I might go and have a quick look at that site. I might look at what their top pages are. So their top page is Can Rabbits Eat Pears, where they're position 11, but they've got the featured snippet in the UK, and that's bringing them 1,200, roughly 1,200 a month, which it'll be more than that. So then I might get that, Can Rabbits Eat Pears, I'll go back to my keyword research, find the right tab, and just see if I've got that, which I do, so I don't need to add that. I might come here and be like, right, rabbit litter pellets, do I have rabbit litter pellets? So I'll go back here, rabbit, whoops, can't spell, rabbit, although you can't see me typing because my face is in the way. Rabbit litter pellets, so let me just move my head out of the way. So no, I don't have that, so therefore I will add that keyword to my list, and then that's a good potential because we know that they are getting decent traffic for that. Obviously we'll then go through the actual keyword, find out the difficulty, the search volume, look at the search results and see who's ranking for it, all of that stuff that we would do typically with our keyword research. And that's not loading, taking a while, the internet. But yeah, so I'll just continue doing that and just building that list and keep getting it out. The reason why I like to build a content plan like this is it allows me to fully structure my content so that I've got the content clusters, I've got the silos, I know exactly what's going where and how the site is being structured. But it also saves me a lot of time when it comes to actually writing a piece of content. So I know straight away, right, I've written can rabbits eat asparagus? So my next piece of content that I'm going to write is can rabbits eat cantaloupe? And then I'll just start writing that. And then after I've done that, it'll be raspberries, mango, arugula, green onions, and then we'll go on to a breed. So I'll write about this breed. I might not do this one initially because the search volume is so low, so I'll go on to the blueberries, radishes. So I'll just literally work down my list based on volume and keyword difficulty, and just gradually start building out a good site. And then as I'm going down this list, once I start running out of ideas, so let's say I get to around about here, I will then add in and do some more keyword research just to bulk that out. And what you'll find is as you're creating content and you're doing your research, you'll automatically come across keyword ideas that you've not actually thought about or you've not got, and then you'll just add them as you're going through writing your content and building the site out. You know, as you become more familiar with the niche, it's going to be a lot easier to spot these different pieces of content that you've not actually thought about, and you add them to your list. And that's why with the guinea pig site, that's one of the reasons why I have guinea pigs, because I'm asking myself questions on, you know, can they eat this, can they eat that? This morning I found out that, you know, they're not eating the hay that we brought to the weekend, and it turns out that they've got two different types of hay that they cut. You've got the first cut, you've got the second cut, one's greener than the other. So I didn't know that, so now I'm thinking about a piece of content of, you know, what's the difference between this hay and this hay, and that way I'll add that to my keyword research, and then you just naturally come across questions. Now if you're interested in getting the rabbit niche, I wouldn't recommend getting a rabbit just to do affiliate marketing, but if it's a niche that you're in and you're interested in, then you'll naturally come across these questions. It's the same with the pizza oven site. Whenever I'm making pizzas on the pizza oven, I always come up with questions. I always think about, can I cook this? Can I do that? And then I'll just write those ideas. So it's just really useful way of thinking about that. So as you're doing stuff within the niche that you're working in, ask yourself questions, you know, and it can really help. Or you don't need the products to do that. You can just think about the niche itself and just imagine yourself doing that and just asking yourself questions, because generally the people that are going to be searching for this content are new to that niche, so they're going to be asking the same questions that you're asking yourself. Coolio. So the next thing I would look at is the domain ideas. So I haven't actually done a list of domain names because people like different things. Like generally, if you have done a few sites before, you'll have an idea of what additional things that you like to put on domains. So I tend to always put things like guide or advisor and things like that. So that would be normally my go-to. So what I would do is I would go to here and I'd put something like rabbit guides.com. That'll be taken, no doubt. Yep. Or I might put the rabbitguide.com. So that's available, so I might go for that. It's a little bit long and I don't really like but it's not too bad. You might go for advisor. So rabbit advisors available, so rabbit advice. That's not, but you can obviously also spell it that way. And that's available. So there's quite a few available. You could go, what I've started doing with the guinea pig stuff, so you could go Rabbit Geek, which isn't available, or you could go My Bunny Rabbit, maybe. I'm surprised that's available, but yeah. So you got My Bunny Rabbit. You know, there's quite a lot of opportunities and quite a lot of things available. If anyone's ever tried doing a site in the health niche, finding a domain name is a challenge, especially one that's only 2 words. It is a huge challenge to try and find something, but when you do, you celebrate, because yeah, you can spend hours looking. So there's actually quite a lot of good opportunities there. Now when it comes to branding, I've just put some ideas together that I've just done myself. So using a fictitious name of my rabbit friend, just created a couple of basic logos that I think would fit quite well with a niche site that's focused around about the rabbit niche. So these are all typically how I would do my logos at the moment, having the actual brand here with a specific font, and then having a nice clip art image at the side of it. I just kind of feel that with this type of niche, that works really well because it's a soft friendly kind of thing. So yeah, that can just work quite well, and just helps. With this, I would always have one of the words being my main call to action link color. So for example, this might be the orange, and that's just what will really stand out. So if we have a look at this page, we have Guinea Pig Geek here. So this is my standout color. So that's why I have that as all of my call to actions. It just kind of brings in that branding and just kind of really highlights that if you see this color, that's going to be a link that you click. That's going to be a clear call to action link. And the reason I've gone for that is because it's typically the complete opposite color to this color. So it just stands off the page more because I'm going to be featuring this color more in images like this. So that's why that hopefully stands out more. I do that with most of my sites. So yeah, that is the rabbit niche. That's pretty much the niche. So yeah, definitely a lot quicker than the archery one, just because I didn't go through all of the building of the lists and actually creating all of this. So I do think that that's obviously not just saved time, but saved your guys' time, so that you're not listening to me waffle on about doing the keyword research. But I've done that the same as I do all of my sites. So it's literally either using Ahrefs or just using Google and using keywords everywhere. So let's say we go for rabbit for sale. This is obviously going to be UK focused, but we've got rabbits for sale near Derby. There's obviously not much there, but you got rabbits for sale, house rabbits for sale. Let's have a look, see what. So rabbits for sale in, let's think, San Diego. So there's no search volume, it says for that, but I don't think that's going to be true. I think you will get some. There will be some there. Let's have a look at. So let's go to Ahrefs keyword. Okay. So they've got individual rabbits, but let's go for rabbits. Rabbits for sale in here we go. So we've got some here, and they're quite low search volume, but they're also going to be low difficulty. So rabbits for sale in Michigan. And then what I would typically do for this, for example, is this is just how I do this type of research. I would grab the keyword, obviously go put in my keyword research. For this kind piece of content, obviously you're not selling rabbits, but you could easily find links to rabbit breeders, adoption agencies, and link to those, put in Google Maps, give a little bit of an overview of those individual sites, link through to those sites as well. And then you could potentially even actually link back to them, contact them, and actually say, look, I've got this informational site on caring for rabbits because there's so many beginners looking at caring for rabbits. I've got a section on rabbits for sale in Michigan, and I've linked through to your breeders page because you look like you're doing a really good job, blah, 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 and I want to send support over to you. Would you be interested in linking back to my informational site from your website so that you can help your new pet owners learn more about caring for the rabbit? And it's kind of just that communication thing. And it can work really well on building not just connections and relationships, but also building those backlinks as well. I did that quite a lot with my archery site and basically getting archery clubs. Because obviously all cities and towns and whatnot typically have a club where they have their archers join. A lot of those will have a website, and then I'll just link through to those clubs and ask them if they'll be interested in linking back to my archery for beginners resource, and yeah, it tended to work really well. So yeah, that's typically what I do for that, and that's just how I do the keyword research, is just going through Google and going through Ahrefs and using Keyword Chef, and also using low fruits as well. So I tend to use a combination of lots of different tools just to try and get more information. You know, the more keywords I can get, generally the better. And that is it really. So yeah, nice and quick. Obviously, if anyone has any questions, wants me to show something, then let me know and I'll be more than happy to do that. Let's pull it up. Talking to myself. I'm trying to think of something to pull up, but I'm not pulling it up. But again, even though going back to the question that you had in there at the start, is whether the niche is very competitive. I don't think it's massively competitive. I think that there's obviously a lot of pet sites out there, but there's definitely a lot of opportunity. And the good thing about this as well is that you can then also use different traffic generation methods. So you have, where are we? Not rabbit niche, you've got rabbit. So can rabbits eat bananas? So again, you could create video content. So, you know, this one here, can rabbits eat bananas? That's had 13,000 views, 1.9k views, 12 million views of just watching a sleeping rabbit get woken up by a banana. And that is bonkers that a video like that can get 12 million views and they have 939,000 subscribers. So that is, yeah, bonkers. But, you know, it shows that it is a big niche. So if you do have a rabbit, it makes it easier, but you can still make these videos without having a rabbit. So I imagine this one, for example, 973 views. doesn't have a rabbit. Let me just see. No, so these are literally, these dissimilar. So they've got a rabbit there, but you can use stock footage, you can use images, you wouldn't necessarily need a rabbit. And then Pinterest, I don't know if I'll be able to see, am I logged in? Yeah, I'm logged in, that's fine. So we could look for rabbit diet on Pinterest, and we can see there is quite a lot of pins on here. So let's have a look at this one. Animal supplies, so exotic animal supplies, so they're more to do with all animals. So let's just look for one that is just about rabbits, if there is one. Good old rabbit poop. Oh, there we go, Bunny Lady. So she's got 24,000 followers. And she gets roughly 2.3 million views quite easily. You know, she's obviously got a good branding set there, but these are very easy to replicate. I mean, these would be incredibly easy to replicate. I quite like that style, to be fair, so I am going to take a screenshot of that for myself. Can this be created in Canva? So the videos can be created in Canva. They could be quite easily created in Canva. These infographics can be easily created in Canva. In fact, let's have a quick look in Canva, and let's have a look just to see what stock footage there is for videos. So video. Obviously this would require the pro license unless you've got access to other videos. Obviously people would tend to react more, I would expect, to non-stock footage. So, you know, if you've got the funds available, maybe you could reach out to somebody that's got a rabbit and actually offer to pay them for some footage, which would be quite easy for them to do and might actually be quite a cheap way of doing it as well. But yeah, they've got quite a lot of video footage, so you could quite easily come up with something basic maybe. I can't even spell bananas. Jesus. Should we go for something a bit easier to spell, like apple? There we go. A lot easier. Excuse me. So there we go, we've got a quick video footage of a rabbit eating an apple. There's quite a few videos actually, so let's pop that one in there. You could always stick these together, and then yeah, you would just literally bosh in a header. So excuse me, bosh that in. Can rabbits, can't spell it, eat apples? And yeah, then you would have to split the page there. Then on this bit you would then get into your content. So excuse me, bit of a tickle still. I seem to have this really dry cough since having COVID. So yeah, then you'll just get into your actual content of this video and then do whatever you need to do, add more, you know, export it and done. So it's fairly easy to do. Like I say, not as authentic as having your own rabbit or outsourcing to get that video footage, but can work really well. So it's just an idea of just looking at what other people are doing to generate traffic. So, you know, Pinterest. The ones I would go for is YouTube. For quick videos, so you could do some really quick, good pet videos, so like a rabbit doing a trick or whatever. Stick that on TikTok, and also Pinterest and potentially Instagram as well. Just having a Instagram account for your pet rabbit, which might be a fictitious one or might be a real one, but obviously it kind of needs to be the same pictures of the same rabbit. Yeah, and then going through to monetization, so I would look at display ads. So I'd use something like Ezoic. I imagine a lot of people are familiar with Ezoic. So yeah, I'd definitely join them once the site loads. There we go. So we have Ezoic. Then there's going to be the affiliate stuff. So there's going to be Amazon Associates, where you can literally get everything from Amazon cages, all of that good stuff. But then there's also Chewy, which obviously deals with small animals as well. And I've got a video scripted and ready to record for the best pet affiliate programs. So that's going to obviously help with monetization on a rabbit blog. So once I've done that, I will obviously also put a link somewhere on this video to highlight that, but I haven't now because I haven't done it. But if you're watching the replay, you'll see that now, and what I've just said is wrong because I have done it. So yeah, that's good monetization that way. I would potentially also look at lead captures in the long term, and you could sell a info book, so you could quite easily create a little ebook and potentially sell that on Amazon. So you know, we have things like, so these are editors picks. It's obviously had 1,200 reviews. This one's had, I don't know if that's actually about rabbits, but that's rabbit care book, obviously. So there we go. Not huge reviews, but it's potentially an extra revenue stream. So creating a handbook on rabbits, publishing it on Amazon as a purchasable book. For instance, this one is being sold for free on Kindle, $9 on paperback. But then it also allows you to have affiliate content or links within the book itself, which is going to help you get even more revenue in the long term. And then you can potentially obviously get the backlink from the author page on Amazon, which I don't know if this is loading. Will it take me to their author page? Which it does. I don't know if they've got one, but you can normally get a link on the author page back to your website as well, which is, I don't know if it's no follow, but it doesn't really matter. It's potentially a good backlink from Amazon, which is then also going to help to improve your credibility as a authority within this niche. So it all kind of links together. So yeah, that's the monetization as well. So yeah, lots and lots of choices, lots of options. I've also started looking into, I haven't even properly looked into it for the guinea pig site, but I've done it a bit for the pizza site, and that is looking at some funky merchandise, some clothing. So just looking at things like, pull this up, log in. So looking at things like t-shirts, this one you can't see, but it had gone a black t-shirt, and basically a slice every day keeps the bad away. But just thinking of like funny memes that you can turn into a t-shirt or a hoodie or something like that, and just having it on your blog in a store or selling it on Etsy or whatever. It's just lots of different revenue streams that we've not necessarily thought about as typical affiliates. So I get them printed. So that was just made in Canva, and then I will use Printify. I haven't actually set it up yet. Printify. Is it Printify? It's Printify. Yeah. Printify. There are lots of places that you can get, but Printify also links in with Shopify, so you can kind of do it that way. Or there's a couple of others, but I can't remember what they're called now. I don't know if they're still around, but I used to use Cafe Press. Are they still around? Are they still a thing? So yeah, Cafe Press. You can get them printed from there, and I think they're quite reasonably priced as well, to be fair. So that's obviously as a shop, but you obviously get it cheaper if you print it yourself. Printiful, that might be it. Yeah, Printiful. But yeah, there's so many different places that you can get these things printed, and you know, I don't know if people are pet owners that are watching, but some pet owners are crazy. Like so some pet owners will love to wear a t-shirt with a guinea pig on it that says "I poo 100 times a day," or something like that. I don't know, but you know, some pet owners love that stuff. So yeah, if you know, if they love it, then they'll buy it. But it's not necessarily going to be your main revenue source. It's just a way for you to bring a bit of something else, offer a bit of diversification, and kind of just make your asset, which is your business of your affiliate niche site, worth a little bit more. So then if you do decide to actually sell that niche, sell that site, then you've actually got not just an affiliate site, you've got a YouTube channel, you've got a little t-shirt kind of thing that's making you extra revenue, which is just going to bump up that offering. Obviously, if it's a new site and it's your first or second site, then I would literally just focus on content, and just focus on the website, and don't get bogged down with all these shiny objects that I'm throwing at you. And just stick to content, and even more content. That's the main thing at the end of the day. So yeah, that is it. So let's go to the camera. And there we go. I am blurred because the light's gone off. There we go, and that's too bright. But there we go. So yeah. Hopefully that has helped. Actually, let's just go to a different camera, because this camera is alright, but we'll go to this one instead, because this one is a little bit more personable. I can actually look and see the chat and actually look at you. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully that has been useful, and hopefully given a bit more insight into the rabbits niche, and yeah, just been really handy. So I'm going to work on another niche. So if you've got any requirements, if you're looking into a niche and you just want me to give it a look and see, do a blueprint for it, then let me know in the comments or by email, and I'll be more than happy to do the preprint based on that niche. If not, I will come up with a niche. Not sure what yet. I'm thinking maybe a sport niche, or yeah, I'll come up with something, and then I'll probably do the same that I've done this time around, get all of the information pre-done beforehand, and then kind of just present that to you. So yeah, can I look into this smart home niche? Yeah, definitely. It's a niche that I've kind of been interested in, not actually ever done it because I try and stay away from tech, but yeah, it's definitely, I can definitely look into doing that, no problem. I will make a note of it. I love the smart stuff. I've got as many smart lights as possible because I love them. I'm so lazy, I don't even have to turn them off anymore. So yeah, I'll do that. Let me know in the comments if you prefer me to have all of this information ready, or if you prefer me actually going through and doing the keyword research. I kind of think that this is a bit more streamlined and just gets that information out a bit quicker. In the description of this video is a link to a zip file which has all of this information in it, so feel free to download that. No lead capture needed. the only thing you need to do is, if you haven't subscribed, you have to subscribe to get that ebook, that download. You don't, but you should. No, I know the header still needs fixing. I haven't done it yet. The same as for the guinea pig site. I think it's a theme thing. I think I need to go into the full site editor of Popcorn and try and find the option for mobile logo. I need to figure that one out. If not, I need to ask Phil, which I'll probably go to the affiliate gathering and ask. So if anyone is going to the affiliate gathering in York on the 18th, 19th of this month, then let me know, give me a shout. I'll be walking around in an Affiliate Ninjas t-shirt and potentially hoodie for a bit of self-branding. But yeah, if anyone's around, let me know. But we will leave it there. So yeah, I appreciate everyone coming today and watching the stream, and if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you, Robin and Anil, for having a chat. It was nice to have you in the chat. So yeah, until next time, bye for now.